landlords are adapting to occupiers' demands and new ways of working. This is being seen now massively throughout Manchester. They're not just looking at the old style of buildings anymore. The industry's changed, so they are focusing on being a bit more flexibility for these occupiers. Manchester is a great choice to start up businesses. We're seeing that, I think it was 35% of tech businesses was leased in Manchester in 2016, and we're seeing that throughout 17 and now in 2018, and we're only going to see that progress in 2019. Investment in the workplace. This is definitely something that I feel is really important. If you've got senior leaderships who are willing to put their time and money into a space that you're coming to work in, it's going to progress your productivity and your staff mental well-being. So this is the one I'm focusing on in a little bit more detail today. Landlords are adapting to occupiers' demands and new ways of working. So what are people asking for? It's the facilities. Occupiers now want to be near residential accommodation, they want to be near the bars, they want to be near the restaurants. So let's try and make that in one place. So you've got cafes now, which we've got one here as well. Nice image there. We've got gyms now going into buildings as well. Flexible meeting rooms. Bike facilities, you've got cycle to work schemes. You've got private meeting rooms and collaborate working spaces. And then you've got co-working, which is normally done on a membership basis. They're also asking to be a lot more digital connectivity, which is kind of what you guys were just talking about your smarter buildings. They're not only just asking for this, but they're also asking to be digitally connected between the people and the community around them. So for instance, spinning fields, you put in building after building after building. It's not just number one spinning fields, it's spinning fields in itself. And finally, the location. Manchester has got a lot of transport links. You're only a train journey away to the airport, which is just outside the map. It's not far to get to here, there, and everywhere. That's why I feel Manchester's really booming at the moment. So I've got a small video now on 3 buildings: number 1 spinning fields, XYZ, and Canada House. Take a look and see what you can see in common with these buildings. There you go. Okay, so hope you all enjoyed that. So what do these have in common? XYZ, Number One Spinningfields, and Canada House, they all have a sense of community within that building. There are many different facilities that the occupiers can use. And you can see from these images as well, it's not just new builds. A landlord took an old building and transformed it into one of these spaces. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the same on the outside, but what it needs to do is happen in the inside. So why are landlords doing it? One of them is competition. They don't want to get left behind. Long working hours, well-being, and flexible working, I feel all go hand in hand with each other. The office environment has changed, and we are seen to be in the workplace a lot more than what we used to be. Retain current talents and attract new talent, new occupiers. We saw at Canada House that there was an occupier in there that had one floor. They saw what we wanted to do with the building, and they actually took another floor. They didn't go elsewhere. They decided to stick around. And also technology. Landlords need to keep up with it. They need to make these smart buildings. So yeah, smart buildings, that is how one reason they're able to achieve it. Providing multi-purpose spaces and building that community, that is how they are doing it. If they didn't have these different facilities, then they wouldn't be able to do this. Providing flexible leases, I think, as well, that they've had to do. They're not doing 10-year leases now. They're doing 5-year leases with a 3-year break clause to provide that little startup business with that little bit more flexibility. And then also creating a good design. I don't know whether you feel the same, but they all look really nice buildings. I wouldn't mind working in one of them. So we'll move on to now workplace trends. This is something that you all can do within your own office, whether that's when you've been there for 5 years or whether it's a future building that you're going to be going on to. So biophilia. You're probably thinking, oh, is this still around? It's not going anywhere, and it's here to stay. Well-being is really important in the industry at the moment. You can feel a great sense of achieving when you are in a proactive environment. Personally, I spend the majority of the time in the office, and I will do so for many years to come. So it's great when senior leaderships do invest in things like this. There are many reports out there to say that plants and natural materials improve productivity by around 20%. So I think you should go now and go and buy some plants. It's all about the brand. Don't just think of trends that you have to take on board now. It's all about the brand. If you feel like you've got a really strong culture inside your work environment, show it off. Personally, I think that if you're surrounded by your culture of your office, you will feel that little bit more involved and you feel like you will belong to that company. You'll understand the company's culture and identity, and you'll just thrive in that environment. Industrial. So this isn't just a look and feel that is being done now in bars, restaurants, hotels. This is E3 Creative's office, which is industrial but with a twist. It has been easily adapted to make it look a lot more client-facing and a lot more polished. So furniture companies now are looking into this and doing a lot more agile, lovely, unique pieces of furniture. So even if you're not interested in spending a lot of money, you could even just get some furniture, spice it up a bit, make it feel like the occupiers are part of your office. I think that's it. Thank you very much.